You know that flavor, right? That sweet, warm, kind of licoricey taste. It pops up in holiday cookies, in certain liqueurs. It's definitely anise. But what if I told you that familiar taste is really just the tip of the iceberg for a plant with a history that stretches back thousands of years? Today, we're going to dig into the whole story.
Right, because that flavor comes from this tiny little seed, from a pretty delicate herb that's been a total staple in kitchens, gardens, and yeah, even medicine cabinets all across the world for centuries. So today, let's peel back the layers on this amazing ancient spice.
All right, so to really get a handle on anise, we should probably start with the basics. A formal introduction to the plant itself. What are we actually talking about when we say anise?
Well, its fancy botanical name is Pimpinella anisum. It's actually in the same family as parsley and carrots, believe it or not. And since it's native to the eastern Mediterranean and Southwest Asia, you can bet it has some seriously deep roots in some of the oldest cultures on Earth.
Okay, this is where it gets really fun. Let's talk about just how incredibly versatile this stuff is. I mean, the journey this little seed takes from a field into our homes is pretty wild, and it goes in so many different directions.
So on the food side of things, its resume is seriously impressive. It's the absolute soul of Italian biscotti and piselli. It's what gives liqueurs like ouzo at a rock that signature kick. But it also works its magic in savory stuff, adding this unexpected sweet note to sausages and stews. And for centuries, people have brewed it into this naturally sweet, soothing tea, which kind of hints at its whole other life as a traditional remedy for everything from an upset stomach to a nagging cough.
And listen, this isn't just old-school folklore. We have modern authorities, like the European Medicines Agency, the EMA, that now officially recognize anise for helping with mild digestive issues. It's a perfect example of how this long history as a home remedy is actually getting a nod from modern science.
Which, of course, brings us to the science. We know what anise does, but how does it do it? What is locked up inside this tiny seed that gives it such a powerful flavor and all these effects? Let's take a closer look.
Yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? That one little seed is like a complex chemical factory, and it's responsible for everything we've been talking about. So, what's the main ingredient coming off that assembly line?
So check this out. When you distill anise seeds down to their essential oil, the chemical profile is just completely dominated by one single compound. A whopping 90% of it is this one molecule, trans-anethole. Yeah, there are other things in there, but this is the undisputed star of the show.
So what is trans-anethole? Well, it's the powerhouse. It's what delivers that signature sweet flavor, but it's also the reason for the plant's biological effects. Research shows it can calm spasms, which explains why it helps with cramps, and it even has potential estrogenic effects, which means it can kind of mimic certain hormones in the body. This one molecule is the source of both the taste and the power.
But it's not just about the oil. The whole seed also packs in other beneficial compounds. Scientists have found a bunch of flavonoids and phenolics. You've probably heard of them. They're well known for their antioxidant properties. So that just adds another layer to this plant's potential. Okay, now anytime we talk about something with real biological effects, we absolutely have to talk about safety. Just because something is natural doesn't mean you can use it without thinking. Anise is a powerful tool, and you've got to treat it with respect.
First off, it is so important to understand this difference. Using whole or ground anise seeds when you're baking or cooking, that is generally recognized as safe for most people. We're talking about small amounts for flavor. The concentrated anise oil, on the other hand, that's a whole different ballgame. It is incredibly potent, and you have to be careful, always diluting it and following very specific guidelines.
And even then, medicinal preparations of anise, especially that concentrated oil, are just not for everybody. There are some specific groups who really need to steer clear.
Yeah, regulatory bodies like the EMA are super clear on this. Because there isn't enough safety data, they don't recommend it for anyone under 18 for medicinal use. It should also be avoided during pregnancy and while breastfeeding because of those potential hormone-like effects. And hey, if you're allergic to other plants in the parsley family, like fennel or celery, you should be cautious. Finally, those same hormone-like effects mean it could possibly interfere with certain hormone therapies.
Health authorities also have another recommendation. If you're using it medicinally on your own, you should probably limit that to 2 weeks. It's a precaution, really, just because we don't have enough solid data on the safety of using such a potent substance for a long time.
And this is maybe the most serious warning of all. The pure essential oil is no joke. Swallowing as little as 1 to 5 milliliters, we're talking a teaspoon or less, can actually be toxic.
It can cause some really nasty symptoms like nausea, vomiting, even seizures. It just hammers home the point that you have to treat the concentrated oil like a powerful substance, not just a simple flavoring.
So, after this whole journey through its history, all its uses, the deep chemistry, and the safety warnings, what's the final word on this incredible spice? Let's bring it all home.
We started with the simple flavor, something we all recognized. Then we uncovered its long, rich history as a traditional healer. We dove into the science and met the chemical powerhouse, Anethole, that makes it all happen. And that brought us to the modern reality. Anise is a fantastic gift from nature, for sure, but it's one that comes with an instruction manual. It's a tool that we have to use with knowledge and with respect.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Anise sits right at this fascinating crossroads where ancient tradition meets modern science. It's the perfect example of a natural product where we can now see the chemistry that explains its historical uses. So the real question for us is, how do we keep honoring that amazing tradition while also respecting the science that tells us how to use it safely and effectively?